Hello. I offered to lead this video today because the subject of damage is very important to me. It is also a very important issue across QTG for a number of reasons. The subject of damage speaks volumes to our commitment to the overall quality of our packages and cases that we ship to our customers. And when you think about a consumer perspective, when they are coming in taking products off the shelf daily of all of our products, again, it is a huge commitment in terms of overall quality and satisfaction. It is also important, though, from a cost perspective. This year within QTG, we'll spend more than $20 million on damage. That is a meaningful and important number, and one that deserves all of our attention. In this video are best practices on damage prevention, which we should place not from a competitive advantage, but from an operational necessity perspective. It will help ensure that we are providing the highest quality service. For this reason, it is important that all of us understand and embrace the techniques that are offered in this video. As a team, we have a significant role ensuring that we have the highest quality packages and cases in the industry. It is yet one more capability that will help ensure that we are the best warehouse delivered supply chain in America. I appreciate all of your time and attention, and thank you.
Shipping damage-free product is very important to QTG and their customers. By taking the time to inspect the trailer and the product prior to loading, it will reduce the number of product refusals, returns, and customer deductions, which drive the cargo claim process. The trailer should be clean and free of odors, rough surfaces, exposed nails that could potentially damage the product en route. Special attention should be taken to inspect the roof for holes and leaks, as wet damage is our #1 driver of claims.
Even before you check a trailer carrying food products for structural problems, there are several things you should take note of. First, has the trailer been permeated with any objectionable odors? In transit, odors can penetrate packaging, often into the product itself. And if the trailer has a strong, objectionable odor, inspect no further. Reject the trailer and get another. The same is true if the trailer appears to be contaminated with oil or chemical products, or infested with insects or other pests. This rarely happens, but if it does, reject the trailer and report the problem. Now, once you're sure the trailer is appropriate and safe for carrying foodstuff, make a quick structural inspection. A very critical thing to look for is obvious damage to the trailer roof or streaks or wet spots that are evidence of roof leaks. The kind of water damage that can result costs $500,000 a year. If it leaks, reject it. Also, look for serious damage to the trailer walls, jagged metal or plywood that could damage the cargo. If any structural problems with the walls or floor will threaten the load, again, reject the trailer. Check for debris and trash left in the trailer. Usually they need sweeping. As you do this, check the walls and floors for nails or other lesser obstructions that could puncture or damage packaging. When you find a nail, pull it and trash it. Once you're sure the trailer is clean and free of hazards to its contents, turn your attention to what you'll be loading. Inspect the palletized products and check them against paperwork to make sure they're of the correct product. Check the structural integrity of the pallet itself. We do not load merchandise on damaged pallets, and if a broken pallet is accidentally loaded or broken during shipping, the material on it should be repalletized. Damaged pallets should be returned to the supplier, normally the CHEP pallet pool, and should not be left in warehouse areas for reuse. Also, visually inspect the palletized product for damage. Torn, punctured, or crushed cases or packaging are not acceptable. If a case has been damaged, it should be replaced, and the pallet of product should then be re-stretch wrapped. The stretch wrap, too, is important and should be part of your preloading inspection. The stretch wrap maintains the integrity of its palletized contents and also provides more friction or grip against adjacent surfaces when loaded. Each pallet must be wrapped strongly enough for load containment, but not so tightly that the wrapping distorts or damages product packaging. The wrap must also overlap the pallet by 2 to 3 inches to properly secure the product. Never load product that is loose stacked on pallets and not secured with stretch wrap.
To reduce the possibility of the product walking off the pallet en route, proper stretch wrapping is important. The stretch wrap should incorporate 2 to 3 inches of the pallet and be the proper tension to contain the product to the unit. Improper tension can also cause damage by crushing or creasing the product if it's wrapped too tightly.
Loading for damage prevention involves proven rules and techniques that you should remember and observe. Load product tight to the nose of the trailer. Load product tight to sidewalls or alternate sidewalls and snugly against adjacent product. Use pinwheeling or double pinwheeling. Top stack only light product. Use proper dunnage. Now let's look at each of those damage prevention loading techniques. Tight to the nose. The very first row of product loaded on the trailer should be loaded snugly against the trailer's front wall. Sidewall support is also crucial, so a row of product may be loaded against both sidewalls or against alternate sidewalls. We'll return to the diagrams in a minute to talk about securement of the entire load. Pinwheeling and double pinwheeling are techniques for placing our standard 48 by 40 CHEP pallets to minimize the center void. Now, this is an example of pinwheeling. 4 pallets make up each pinwheel. And this is the pallet placement for double pinwheeling. The idea is to place product to take advantage of the available space while leaving very little unfilled space into which the pallets could slide or walk in transit.
Pallet placement in the trailer is extremely important. Excess voids cause shifting due to the natural harmonic movement of the trailer during transit. If the void exceeds 12 inches, the unit should be pinwheeled or double pinwheeled to reduce the void. The unit should be further stabilized by using an airbag to secure the load. In the event of a step-down load, where a load goes from a double stack height to a single, wood panels and airbags should be used to secure the top units.
Let's look at our 3 basic dunnage materials and how to use them. The dunnage products themselves are airbags, Protecto cell panels, and Protecto wood panels. Airbags are used to create a kind of invisible bulkhead by snugging the load against the trailer sidewalls. In the process, the bag also fills the void. For road trailers, the rule is at least 1 airbag bulkhead at the rear of the trailer if all the cargo is loaded as 1 layer with no top freight. If there is top freight at the nose of the trailer, there must be a second airbag bulkhead at the step-down point in the load. The airbag consists of an airtight plastic bag covered by a heavy paper shell and equipped with a valve for inflation and deflation. Airbags are placed, like these, to fill front-to-back voids, then protected with other dunnage and inflated. They're not designed to withstand the forces created by sudden stops or accelerations and should never be placed laterally across the width of the trailer. Protecto cell panels are a trademark buffer material used along with airbags to fill voids. They're thicker than conventional plywood and have a strong honeycomb interior. These panels are used, along with airbags, to help fill the space while protecting both the bag and the product. The same dunnage manufacturer produces Protecto wood panels. These panels have the rigidity of plywood with a honeycomb layer and a cushioned surface. They're used vertically, not as decks between stacked pallets. Let's look at proper installation of these dunnage products. As you begin to fill a trailer, place the first row of product tightly into the front wall. Load each row in firm contact with the sidewall, pinwheeled if necessary to minimize voids. Light product may be double stacked on the heavier pallets on the floor. Load each subsequent row of product snugly against what is already in the trailer, and of course, where the group product will have sidewall support. At the step-down point, where the double stacking ends, create a bulkhead to stabilize the top tier of lighter freight. The airbag is placed in the void with Protecto cell panels on each side. The Protecto cell panels will tend to square up the pressure of the airbag, minimizing the possibility of damage to cartons. They also protect the surface of the airbag from abrasion or puncture. Next, inflate the airbag. The maximum pressure for these bags is 3 pounds per square inch, but in reality, they're usually inflated to about 1.5 to 2 psi. Note that at the step-down point, the bag is also installed in the on-end position. You want to secure both the top and the bottom layers of product. The finished bulkhead row of products should look more or less like this. The airbag presses snugly against the Protecto cell panels, which press snugly against the product. The outer surfaces press snugly against the trailer sidewalls. Use Protecto wood panels, standing them on end vertically. The product cannot move from side to side and strongly resists front to back movement. If the airbag balloons out, is rounded, and does not make good contact with the vertical surfaces beside it, it's overinflated, ineffective, and likely to fail. The answer is additional rigid dunnage. Now, still more subsequent product is loaded on the trailer, snugly against the bulkhead, and with proper sidewall contact according to your loading plan. When the trailer is fully loaded out, create another airbag bulkhead at the rear. All trailers loaded at QTG facilities must have this type of securement at the rear. The trailer has been loaded according to the rules and procedures for safe over-the-road shipping. If the trailer will be shipped intermodally, traveling part of the way on a rail car, additional securement may be required pursuant to AAR guidelines.
Trailers and containers traveling by rail must be secured according to the Association of American Railroad specifications, which require a minimum of 2 airbags in each load. The AAR requires the use of dunnage to reduce the natural side-to-side movement and to secure product from the severe jolting when rail cars are coupled. Airbags should be located in the 5th or 6th row from the nose and in the last row of the trailer. If the minimum dunnage requirements are not adhered to, it will negate any damage claim. Additionally, any costs for labor and the rework of leaning trailers caused by the lack of dunnage will be the responsibility of QTG. It could also lead to legal liability if it's determined the lack of dunnage caused a derailment.
The difference between road and intermodal load securement are slight, but it's very important that you observe them. For the kind of cargo that we're shipping, many of the rules of the American Association of Railroads are automatically met. This diagram illustrates the difference. For trailers that will be traveling by rail, always create at least 2 airbag bulkheads, one at the rear by the door and one in the middle of the load. This would make a difference in the case of this trailer that's loaded with a single layer of product. For an over-the-road trailer, 1 bulkhead would usually be sufficient. But for a trailer traveling intermodally, 2 is the minimum number of bulkheads. Note that this load, which has some double stacking and a step-down point midway, already requires 2 bulkheads, and the intermodal requirements would be the same as for over-the-road. In the rare case that there are only a few top-stacked pallets in the very nose of the trailer, they still require a step-down bulkhead. However, if the trailer will travel by rail at any point, we recommend a 3rd bulkhead halfway between the step-down and the rear of the load. Let's review those diagrams again. 1-layer load. 1 bulkhead for road, 2 for intermodal. Normal step-down load. 2 bulkheads in all circumstances, 1 at the step-down and 1 at the rear. Unusual loads may require a 3rd bulkhead if traveling intermodally. And one more thought on damage-free shipping. As part of a team, it's important to keep your loading area and equipment clean and uncluttered. Dispose of damaged airbags and dunnage. Return panels and load bars to their proper storage areas. And be courteous to your fellow team members who will load and unload next in that area. Take pride in what you do, and others will take pride in you.